and it's pretty much lying flat again. I mean, not really, but you can kind of squeeze it together. Okay. The next thing, we're going to create sort of bend in the elbow, I guess you would say. So you can start by unpinching it, kind of undo the fold that you pinched there. Then find the point where the blade reaches the edge of the arm right here, at this point right here. So you got the blade. Then once you have that point, you're going to fold it up and then crease it. So it's basically folding it in half, folding it up to here again. And so it's kind of, if you just kind of let that stick out, it's like this. It's waving high. Then the thing you want to do is pinch it back up again, and while keeping this sort of fold in here. So you can start by pinching at the narrowest point here by the claw, and then pinching at the base here. And it sort of creates this hourglass shape here. And if you just let that fold up, it kind of creates this elbow bend. You can see how it's this almost right angle here. And then we can have that pointing forward again, and it looks like this. So we're going to do that on the other one. This one, basically going to add a bend, so it goes here, here. Do that by unfolding the pinch, kind of flattening it out again, finding the spot right here where the blade reaches the rest of the arm, and then folding up at that point. So it's basically folding the arm in half, back up. Once we have that, we're going to pinch it back closed again. Kind of have to use my thumb like this and my other fingers because it's really thick paper, because there's so many layers. Okay, that was nice and neat. So both the arms are bent at this sort of elbow spot and they're pointing forward. Alright, now these blades look really chunky. We're going to thin them down a little bit. So if you put it head on, blades kind of out to the side like this, what you're going to do is, say, take one, here's the point of the blade, you're going to also pinch it in half lengthwise, kind of along that. So like this. And then as a sort of side effect, it's going to have to sort of pinch this way, then pinch this way. So it sort of pinches in half, like that. And then in order to get it to lie flat, you can basically bring it, and it folds in on itself. And coincidentally, that's just the sort of shape that hydralisk blades assume in the wild and in computer games that feature them. So that's how we're going to leave it. We can shape it a little once the whole thing is done, but that's a general idea. So take this other one, going to pinch it, here's the point, pinch it along this sort of lengthwise pattern. Let it fold back on itself. And now it's looking a little more like a hydralisk, or at least some hydralisk arms attached to a interesting geometric sculpture. Okay, last thing we're going to do for the arms is, see, if you let them lie flat, they're kind of sticking up. We're going to kind of pivot it around the shoulder so that it's going more like this. So it goes down and then out. So it was like this. Just sort of pivot it around here and pinch it flat. So looking at the other side, kind of hold it here, pivot the entire arm. You can kind of hold it by the elbow, pivot it maybe 90 degrees, pinch it in, pinch it flat. Now, looks pretty hydralisk-y, I guess you would say. Okay, so let's start getting the rest of it looking more like a hydralisk. So here, we're going to focus on the head. So open this up so it's kind of flat and the arms kind of cross on themselves. I'm just doing that so we can work on this flap here. This is going to be the head. And if you look at it to the side, you can already see the shape. Here's kind of like the pointy sail back thing. Here is where the neck comes down, and here's the tail. It's almost like the shape of hydralisk already. So the first thing we're going to do is create some new creases. They're going to basically go, I mean, you kind of have to feel for where it would be, but, or I mean guess basically, but maybe from where this finger is down to this corner point here, so it's kind of diagonal, kind of like, so you're going to fold it this way, sort of along this diagonal like that. That was actually a little high. So it's basically going from up, going to down, or out to the side. And it goes along these new creases that I've just made, all the way to this corner point. Okay, so that's good. Let's see. Alright, so here's the next thing we want to do. So if you kind of hold the paper right by the arms, holding this flap on one side and holding this flap on the other, we're going to bring this corner point down to this edge of the arms, and we're going to fold it this way. So we're just bringing these two things together like that, and it's going to make this fold in the back, and we're going to pinch that closed. It'll kind of go like this. Pinch it together. So we brought these two corners next to each other, and it created a crease that went from here to here.